welcome to HDPP Live on a Saturday night to the UK and around the world with photos, memories and friends. This is HDPP Live. How are you this evening? Are you all well?
Hinckley District past and present for you, meeting friends old and new. Streaming Wednesdays and Saturdays too, with founder members Paul and Sue. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Film clips, photos, memories and friends helps a dreary night go by. Wearing Hinckley's six of the best, stupendous quizzical high. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Let's take you back in time. A community of men. We'll take you for a ride. Handsome's cab will take you there. We're making history. HDPP, chatroom applauses. History supporting local causes. Streaming HDPP live. Betty is our queen bee. The sweetest honey candy. Dangerous Den here again. HDPP live. Hey, you know it keeping it HDPP.
Well, here we are again. Good evening. Welcome to, they are worth every penny. Welcome to HDPP Live. Oh, a Sunday night. And let's face it, there's not much else on, so you might as well watch this rubbish than everybody else's rubbish. It's our regular get-together. Everybody in the chat room so far, and it's great to have your company this evening. I've just adjusted the old microphone a bit there. Right, okay then, so all the regular features for a Saturday evening. We've got all lined up for you, but first over the threshold this evening was David Starnborough with a good evening all. He sat there very patiently. Hi, David. Hope you're doing okay. Daniel Coburn here as well, wishing everybody a good evening. Grandad from the farm is here, Steve's here, and a bit of a cooey there from Annabelle Mann. Anne's here. Hi, Anne. She said, "Good evening from Wall. Such a sad week. We all need to hug our nearest and dearest. And I've lost a very special friend, and of course Steve right in the last week. And it's very true. And you're right. Give those people you love a hug and tell them that you love them. It's so important because one day they may not be there. But let's not get too somber. Because Jeff Wallace is here. Evening all, he says as he goes, evening all, because he's a tall lad, is our Jeff. Jeff and Anna in Brig. Yes. I hope you're getting on with that book as well, Jeff. I hope you had a chance, as Anna gave you a chance to have 5 minutes to look at it. I hope you're enjoying it too. Carol Beasley is here. Hi, Carol. How are you? Just to find you well on this evening. Also, Kath Denny's here as well. With Mr. Noser, who was having trouble logging in. He said he would have been in first, as you will see very shortly. Queen Bee is here too. Hi, Queen Bee. Sorry we haven't been up to see you this weekend. It's been one of those silly weekends again. And David Allen in Boston, in Lincolnshire, is with us as well. Dave B on the boat. I like that. Dave B on the boat. We can use that, yeah. Tuning in our way. Hopefully going to do well on 6 of the best this evening. Russet's here as well from up to A5. She is, yes. And Kit's here as well. Kit, we've missed you. We've missed you on some of our streams. Nice to know that you're there, sweetheart. Lovely. And also, David S., somebody else from up A5 and all, with us this evening. Nice to know you're there. Jan Kirby's here. Good old Jan. Everyone's poised. I've got a good feeling. We're going to have a good one tonight. And so lots of people saying, hello, hello, hello. Gary Betterley from France. He's from across the channel. He's here with a thumbs up to all. Hi, Gary. Hope you're doing okay. Kevin Beasley's back. Didn't see him the other week. He was marked absent. You see, because when I'm reading all this out, later on we go through the recording and we mark people present or absent. Yeah. So just so you know, we got the register. We do it every week, you know. It's when we used to play that bit of music, didn't we? We used to play the old what was it, like the police music, didn't we, at one time of day? But I didn't play it because I'd probably get it's this bit. But I can't play too much of it because we might suddenly get cut off, you see. Love it. A bit of police there. Also, the crops are here. Thank goodness. We can start now, Mrs. G. The crops have just come in. Yeah, that's all right then. Now then. Now then, Anne says, Paul, it's Sunday. Did I say Saturday? I know I always say Saturday in the opening sequence because that was recorded ages ago and it's such a pain in the backside to alter it again. So that's why I'll say it on a Saturday night. I'll probably have to do a new Sunday one later. Anyway, good. So everybody's here and ready to play. Oh, Pat Galloway just made it with a big cooey. Now then, I've got a list of stuff to do tonight. Look, I've got a... You can't see that because it's yellow. Trust me, I have in my hand a piece of paper. I do, honestly, with quite a big running order. First of all, we've got 6 of the best, of course. We've then got a couple of features you'll like tonight. I've called it 2 sides of 2016. You'll see why very, very shortly. We've got some treat and carnival film, which we've never, ever shown before because we only got it the other day from Dangerous Den's friend. We've got our London calling feature. And, of course, we round off our broadcast with a noser. One of Nose's greatest hits. We'll be looking at one of them in a little while. Okay, so I know you've all ready for 6 of the best. Now remember that don't put your answers in the chat room ahead of time because people nick them and claim them as their own. So don't do that, will you? Because I'd just like you. I've got a feeling 6 of the best. We'll probably get 6 tonight. I haven't had as much time as I normally would have to put 6 of the best together this week, but it'll suffice. So if you're all sitting carefully and comfortably, and I find my list, here we go with this week's 6 of the best. Here we go. And a question we've had before, but have you been paying attention? Now, second this music goes, you've a wave of smugness always washes over us because we know Mr. Smugly goes, yeah, know that one, yeah. I work at Myra, so I know that one. Hawley Road is so named after whom? Yes, because it's not Hawley, it's not Haulage Road or anything like that, it's Hawley. But so who's it so named after? That's what we want to know. Good evening to Kay Norton, just joined us as well. Lovely. Daniel Coburn's here as well, because he's ready, waiting with his pencil and paper. Hope you've got question number 1 ready. Okay, on to question number 2. A real easy one tonight. What was New York's original name? And Kath's agreeing, me said, oh, yes, he did, Paul, yeah. I know that one. I work at Myra, so I know it. Yeah. Oh, dear, what was New York's original name? Was it New Liverpool, New Amsterdam, or New Brussels? Well, one of those is the correct answer. And I'm sure you'll find that is really easy. Into question 3 then. Okay, find the words. Firstly, I'm not going to give a clue first time round on this. I'll just give you a chance and probably smugness to get this before I give you a clue. Okay, so I'll just leave that on the screen in a minute. You've put the you put the missing letters in, and you'll find a well-known tittle there. He's got 3 already. You see, that smugness already comes across. So I'm not going to give any more clues at the minute. But a TV programme, that's all I shall say. Okay, we'll come back and give it. Yeah, got 3. If you could see the chat room now, ladies and gentlemen. Question 4. Here we go. This is the Find the Year. The word processor software, soon to be known as Microsoft Word, was first released in this year. Protests from the peace campaigners started at RAF Greenham Common as cruise missiles arrived, and 26 million was stolen from the Brink's-Mat vaults at Heathrow. What was the year that we are looking for? Okay. Already been told that Jeff Wallace got 3. Got number 3, that means, yeah. Annabelle Mann says, I'm drowning in smugness. There we go. So what's the year? Now then, we know Mr. Smugly will get the next one. So I'm going to switch his internet off now so he doesn't see. Okay, here we go. Where am I in Hinckley? That is quite easy, actually, but it's an important part of the town. Where am I? Very, very easy, as you can see. Snap from Google Lay. And on to our anagram question this evening. Bend downwind, Melvin Rowling. It's a village and a local pub. Don't think we've had this one before, so there you go. Smugness can't get it yet. He's got to work on it a bit, but I'm sure he will do. Okay. Oh dear. So let's go through it one more time then. So question number 1. Hawley Road is so named after who? Yeah, I know that one. Question 2, what was New York's original name? One of them is the correct answer. Yeah, I know that one too, because I work at Myra. Question 3, find the words. Oh yeah, I've already got that one, Paul, because I work at Myra. Okay, John, we've got your idea. Okay. That's a TV programme. I'll just leave it on there just a minute. Dave B said, I've got 3 too. Ooh. Is that the final score? Question 4. The word processor software, soon to be known as Microsoft Word, was first released in this year. The protesters for the peace campaigners at RAF Greenham Common started their protest this year. 26 million was stolen from the Brink's-Mat vaults at Heathrow. What was the year? Where am I? I know that one, Paul, because I work at Myra. Yes, okay, John, I've got you. He knows that one too, I'm sure. And I ain't quite worked it out yet. Okay, then, John, we'll find that Bend Downwind, Melvin Rowling. That will give you a village and local pub. And Anne Hunt says, got 3 already. Miracle, she says. Well done indeed if you're doing that so far this evening. Okay, then. Now, we always have a bit of fun. I mean, this is what it's all about. Sunday night, we'll have a bit of fun, have a bit of banter. And as I say, it's just a get-together. When we have our hiatus, which I haven't told you about, through the summer months, we'll have a little hiatus, but come back for the autumn. But I'll tell you more about that as we get closer to it, because you people want to be out on a Sunday evening. You'll want to be going out to these pubs and stuff, and why not indeed? So we'll have a small hiatus over the summer month, but come back in time for well before autumn. Ah, dear. Right, okay then. So let's look at some of our features this evening. I thought, like I say, we've got a bit of footage actually coming through, which only arrived at HDPP Towers only yesterday. Courtesy, thank you to Dangerous Den and his friends. Now, to be fair, Den, you did send the email of who to thank, and I have sent the email to say thank you. I can't remember their names now here live in the stream, but thank you to them. A great little bit of footage actually. So another, did you see me go like that? That was another wave of smugness. Yeah, I got the anagram. Just guessing at number 4. But I do work at Myra. Right, okay. Come on, Paul, pay attention. You're being distracted by all this smuggliness. So, with no further ado, as Mr. Nosy would say, a little bit of footage, which came to us only yesterday, of treats and carnivals. But we've never shown this particular footage, taken in Bond Street and also in Derby Road. So, settle back and enjoy this nice little interlude. So we start the carnival in Bond Street in 1965. We're in Upper Bond Street. There's the gin distillery in the background. Look how nice and neat those houses in the background look. And the green hedges. And Brocklehurst factory in the background, which looks a damn sight better there than what it does in its present state today. Hello, me old tater. Those carnival days always seem to be a lovely sunny day. I can very rarely remember wet carnival days back in the day. The carnival was always held sort of middle of June. What I noticed about this particular bit of video is those big houses at the back, right by Herbert Pratt's in Derby Road. Of course, all this has been redeveloped and built on here, but it's looking in the background, as well as the parade going by, looking at the background, seeing what you can see. Amazing. We just seen the Barwell Comic Band go by with Big Jim Lord on the big drum. And we go to the Sunday School Treats in 1968. Derby Road and Leicester Road Junction you will see appearing. Is it me, or is the road wider somehow? Red telephone boxes. Cigarette advertising boards. You don't see cigarettes advertised like that anymore. They were banned. Amazing pictures from 1968. I think they're incredible. It's incredible to think that the little ones being led across the road would be parents and grandparents all their own now. Look at the old garage in the background as well. And the building of Peacocks and Wallace standing in the background. Fantastic. And there we go, a nice little bit of footage to start off the programme this evening. I'm sure you'll agree, knocked together a bit quickly earlier on by yours truly. Okay, thanks for bringing to my attention somebody who was in the chat room typing me, blah, blah. We've sorted that out. Thank you very much. If you can't contribute positively, don't bother, thank you. Right. As you probably know, say last week we got through, because the old voice was coming back, still a little bit around the edges, but we're getting there. And thank you very much to those that joined me this morning on FOSS 107. Great fun this morning. That was great, and looking forward to next weekend. You have been warned, next weekend I'm doing Saturday morning and Sunday morning. Wow. So if there's never been a good idea to go off on your holidays or not put your radio on, I don't know what is. No, serious, hope you can join me. Fantastic. Good. Okay. Oh, good evening, Jane Brown as well. And Pat Galloway said, 1968, the year I was born. Ah, Patrick. Patrick, how nice. Lovely. Okay. Glad you like that. People enjoying that in the chat room. It is. Right. Okay, then. I've got another couple of features coming first, but let me just very, very quickly go through 6 of the best one more time before we do our London calling feature, where we do like, they've like micro noses down in London, but we'll be doing that shortly. Let's just go through the questions one more time for you. Hawley Road is so named after whom? I want the full name, please. Thank you very much. Question number 2. What was New York's original name? Once again, easy. People are going to get 6 of the best tonight. I am absolutely sure of it. Question number 3. Find the words. This is a TV show. I shall duck a minute because another wave of smugness will hit me in a moment. Yeah, because he says, I got that because I work at Myra. Right, okay then. And this is a TV programme. A very, very big, popular TV programme. I will give a clue next time round for those of you that haven't quite got it, but I know there's quite a few that have got it this evening. Question 4, want to know the year when the word processor software to be known as Microsoft Word would be released. Protests from the peace campaigners started at RAF Greenham Common in this year, and 26 million was stolen from the Brinks-Map vaults at Heathrow. Yeah, okay. So, question number 5. Where am I in Hinckley? It's a bit too easy, Paul, I think, but you never know. I'm in a jitter, you can see, but where am I? And the anagram question. Bend downwind, Melvin Rolling. That's what it sounds like to me, yeah. This is a village, a local village, and a pub. You know that. So, Daniel Coburn says, it's not fair. I don't know the anagram yet, and I don't work at Myra. Well, that's the place you want to be. If you want to know everything, go and work at Myra. That's all I can say. Go with Mr. Smuggley. He knows it all. He is the font of all knowledge. He just knows it all. He really does. If he couldn't do his book. Anyway, Dave B said, I need a hint for the grandma. Well, like I say, it's a local village with a pub. Let's see. I'll try and get you a clue together, David, and put it in the chat room in just a few minutes. Anne Hunt's on a bit of a roll tonight, by the way. She said, I've got 4 now. I'm going to try the anagram. Oh, I'll try and think of a clue for the anagram, and I will post it in a few moments' time in the... Mrs. G's got it, by the way. Mrs. G's got it, yeah. Alternatively, you could all apply to work at Myra, and then you'll be able to hang on John's coattails and stuff and feel the smugness. I'm awful to him, aren't I? I love it. Right, okay then. Features, indeed. Right then, I'll just get me list. Now then, I'm calling this 2 sides of 2016. So, see what you think to this as we go. Let's see if I press the right button first. Actually, it should be this one first. The demolition of the leisure centre in 2016. This is amazing because when you think this was going on in 2016. Our new leisure centre was built. Of course, it was built in 2014, and so this is how they cleared and disposed of the old one, right? And as I said, this building opened in 1977, and as I've often said to you before, buildings that come and go in our lifetimes, and yet there's other buildings that are there all the way through. And so we can see here exactly the sort of changes that we see. I mean, you drive by here today now, and you would obviously never know that a building stood there. In fact, the land is predominantly all still empty. There's been plans for hotels there and more apartments and flats. Nothing's actually come of any of the plans. But as you can see here on the site as it was being cleared, it's a big site, really. And I'm surprised that nothing hasn't yet happened today. So, Hinckley Leisure Centre, as it bites the dust. In fact, I would love to play another one bites the dust. But if I do, the chances are the stream will stop. I don't want to do that there. But how many of you had been in here, swam in the pool like Jan, or maybe worked out in the gym, played a game of squash or badminton? And there you go. Just a simple pile of rubble now. But on to a more enjoyable little bit. In 2016, meanwhile, just literally a few months earlier, look at this now, 2016, how it was looking then. See how many changes you can see in the shops and things. Some of them, you know where it is, you recognise it, then you think, yes, that estate agent's there today, but Foss House, that's changed hands. It's not called Foss House anymore. The Polish shop, that's changed. Do you know? See how many you can see that although the buildings are still there, the actual shop has changed. I'll just let the music and the pictures speak for themselves. There we go. I just thought we'd run that one in again because ultimately, and so you can see how many changes. What made me laugh, I was making a few notes while that was playing, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And when we were going down Castle Street by Noons, above there, one part of which is now the hairdressers, but one half of it was called was Dressed to Impress, and you looked in the window, and it was sinks and bathrooms. Yes, imagine walking down with them on your back. Yeah, I'll impress you on that. Anyway, I see you all like that one. Thank you very much. And as I say, loads of different changes going on there, and then it was a big time, sort of between 2012 and 2017. Plenty of big changes going on, what with the creation of the Crescent and other things. So there we go. But I enjoyed that. Like I say, more recent history. We don't have to do all the old stuff all the time. So there we go. Now then, a couple of things I must say before we go on our London calling feature. And that is, you would have seen earlier on, actually, first of all, that we're off to Westminster. Thanks to Jan for taking a big lead in this, helping me out a little bit, to be totally honest. We've still got one or two seats left. So we would love you to come with us. It's going to be a great day. Now we do know we are definitely booked for the 25th of March. We're going to leave town around about 8:30, 8:30 on the morning. We'll travel down to London. We'll have a tour around the Palace of Westminster, and hopefully our MP, Dr. Luke Evans, will also try and meet us and greet us. He'll be busy, I know, but all the same, he'll do his best to catch up with us while we're down there. It's going to be £30 each, and like I say, one or two tickets are still available, and we would love you to come because it'll be like travelling with family, really. Mind you, some people want to travel with members of their family. I don't know, but no, it should be a great day. We'll be back in Hinckley very early evening. That's the plan. So it won't be a late do. So the idea is we have our tours. I think it's around about sort of midday-ish around the Palace of Westminster, and then, like I say, we leave London sort of 4 o'clock-ish, and we go back on our merry way. You can take a packed lunch. You can find a cafe, but if you're not back at the bus by the time I'm ready to go, you'll be walking back because we will not wait. Okay. I don't care. Time is time. So there you go. That's one thing which we're really looking forward to. And another thing, in fact, I'll tell you what, I'll quickly play our next little feature. And then I'll tell you some news which has been happening today here at HDPP, which is really good. Yeah. You see, Catherine, one good thing, Mr. and Mrs. Noser, yeah, they would, yes, you see, they're in America. You see, they're being so smug this year, and they're off to America, so they can't make it, which is a shame, really, because we could have really got on John's case about his book, all the 100 miles to London there, and all the 100 miles from London back. John, book, John. I've got it all arranged as well. I've got a chanting crew at the back. Damn, and he preempted he said, well, I work at Myra, that's why. Anyway, all right, fair enough. But Jan says, please wear comfortable shoes. There is a little bit of walking to do. So, have footwear on that's easy on your feet. That's going to be really good. Yeah. All right, Kevin Beasley, he would like to go. Would you, Kevin, if you would, like I say, you need to find the notice on the group. In fact, let me just put it on. Put it on here. There you go. But I'll find the details for you because, as I say, Jan Kirby's taking the monies. So if you would like to come, it'll be a great day, Kevin. I promise you, it really will be good. I'll put that available to you a bit later on. Okay, it's going to be good. There you are, Jan. Got 2 more seats gone. We won't be far from being full for the day. That's really, really good. Excellent. Oh, blimey, Jan says, I think we should have a quiz on the way back, Paul, with a little prize. Hey, that's quite an interesting idea. And just imagine, because there's no smugglers. No smugglers. So, hey, I like it. You see, John, cancel your holiday in America. Your group needs you. Oh, there's so much I could say, and I can't. I should be in trouble. Right, okay then. Quick go through 6 of the best one more time. Here we go. Question number 1. Hawley Road is so named after whom? Question 2. What was New York's original name? These are, Paul, these are so easy now. They really are so easy. Question 3. Find the words. This was a TV program. I will go now to say it was a comedy program too. A comedy program, very well known, but once again, if you're close to Mr. Smuggley, you will already know the answer. What was the year when the word processor software, Microsoft Word, would be first released? The protests at Greenham Common, remember all that lot? They started in this year. And 26 million was stolen from the Brinks-Mat vaults at Heathrow. What was the year? Where in Hinckley? I'm in a jet here, but where am I? And the anagram question. Bend down, wind, Melvin, roll in, if you would. A village and local pub. And, I did put a little clue in. If you missed it in the chat room, go sailing. It's about the best thing I could think about. It's a play on words, really, I suppose, yeah. I'm trying to think of another one, probably be a better one. But anyway, no, Paul, you can't say that because you'll get into trouble as well. Anyway, so think on them lines anyway. But it's not nautical. But go sailing, but it's not nautical. There. I've got a sort of a grin for Mrs. G, so she gets it. Good. Okay then. Right then. So moving on, our London feature. This is a little bit where we have these little micro noses, and I put so many together for you each week. As I love London history. I just think because it's such an old city. There's little quirks and things everywhere. Okay. So this one's called London Calling. See what you can learn from this great little snippets. Here we go.
From the Tower of London, you'll find one of the few medieval churches in the city of London to have survived the Great Fire in 1666. It is St Olave's, Hart Street. There has been a church here since at least the 11th century, and the current building dates from 1450. Over the entranceway to the churchyard are these three rather ominous skulls, installed in 1658. This led Charles Dickens to refer to the church as St Ghastly Grim. It was for many years the parish church of Diarist Samuel Pepys. He is buried here with his wife under the nave, and he's best known, of course, for writing about the Great Fire and the Great Plague of 1665. Around 300 victims of the Great Plague were buried at St Olave's, P written next to their names in the death register, including a lady called Mary Ramsay, who some claim, I think probably incorrectly, introduced the plague that year to London. A few steps lead down from the churchyard into the church today, a reminder of the number of bodies buried here. It is a small and unassuming church, but one packed with history and stories. Hidden underneath the northern end of Tower Bridge, you will find what is known as Dead Man's Hole. Due to tidal currents in the Victorian period, dead bodies from accidents or more sinister means would often wash up into this alcove. It became so much of an issue that behind this wooden door, the Tower Bridge mortuary was set up to lay out the bodies ready to be identified. In St James's Park, you will find this beautiful little cottage that looks like it's been transported straight out of a fairy tale. This is Duck Island Cottage, built in 1841 as the house of the bird keeper of St James's Park, a position that existed since the 17th century, and meeting place for the Ornithological Society of London. It was designed in this Swiss chalet-like style to contrast with the grand buildings around it, and sits partly on Duck Island in the lake, a nature reserve for the bird life of the park. In the early 17th century, King James I started keeping aviaries of birds along what is now Birdcage Walk. The famous pelicans have been here since 1664, when a pair was gifted to the king by the Russian ambassador. In 1994, the cottage became the HQ of the London Historic Parks and Gardens Trust.
Weird things to see on the streets of London, Part 3.
Have you ever spotted one of these green huts by the side of the road? They are cabbie shelters, and they have their origins in Victorian London, back when cabs were horses and carriages. The driver would be sat outside, exposed to the elements, and one particularly unpleasant winter's evening in the 1870s, a newspaper editor, George Armstrong, wanted to get a cab, but found all the cabbies sheltering in the nearby pub. Not a man to simply complain, he took action and teamed up with the influential Earl of Shaftesbury to set up the Cabmen's Shelter Fund. They built 61 green huts to provide shelter, food and drink, but strictly no alcohol, to cabbies. They're designed to be no bigger than a horse and carriage, so they can sit by the side of the road. 13 of them remain today, and from most you can grab a hot drink or a bacon sandwich. The inside, however, is still strictly reserved for cabbies.
So I'm just laughing because just as with that was finishing, Anne Hunt says, "Can we have a commercial break? I need to go to the loo." And off you go. Go on. I'll hold the film back a little bit because I've got something else to do now. While that's so. Anybody else need to go to the loo? If you do, now's the time. Put your hands up. Oh, now you all want to go, don't you? Yeah, I can see that. Well, go on then. Go on then. But if you do go now, you're going to miss an important announcement. Put it on pause. I don't want to miss anything, says Anne. Well, because Anne is going to travel to London from Weston-super-Mare area and meet us in London. So we'll be meeting Anne actually at the Palace of Westminster. So we're looking forward to that, Anne. And good. Right. Hello. Annabelle man said, right, I'll go as well. Yeah, she's off to the loo. Hurry up back. I'll sit here and wait. Do you know, you've had all night to go to the loo. Can you remember at school when it used to be like that? You're too busy playing to go to the loo, and then when you go in the classroom, you go, damn. Okay. Also, you may be aware, and I'll just bring it to your attention now while that's on. On Thursday night, out the blue, we launched a fundraiser, and this was so we could put a plaque on the resting place of Marjorie Payne. And as you can see there, Marjorie donated Argent's Mead to the town for forever and to always be used for recreation and be a green open space. Now, a lot of you know that at the social nights that I'd mentioned this to you quite a few times. I said, I'm determined that this will happen. Well, there's been quite a few developments on this particular story. We launched the appeal on Thursday night. By Friday lunchtime, we'd hit about the halfway mark, which was incredible. And this will be so we can put a plaque raised by the monies from HDPP from this fundraiser, which will be placed. A plaque will be placed on the grave to explain to people who the lady that's resting there and what a significant part she played in Hinckley's heritage. So I was really, really pleased to say that we got over halfway. Well, since then, a benefactor contacted HDPP earlier on, but he does not want me to tell you his name. I will say that's as much as I can really say. And he made the donation of £200 to get us to the £800 target. Now, if anybody, we are still open for donation. We've reached the target, but anything extra would also go towards this and indeed into the Good Causes Fund anyway. I personally believe how important this is. Just for a moment, we've seen those earlier on. We've seen those lovely pictures of Argent's Mead. Yeah? Just for a moment, just think for a moment, if Marjorie did not own that land, or indeed, if Marjorie indeed had sold it, which she could have very easily done, and let's just imagine for a minute Argent's Mead didn't exist. What would be standing there now? Apartments, flats, maybe some shops, more offices. We wouldn't have had that wonderful green space. It's worth a thought, isn't it? But we're so lucky. We really are so lucky. Really. Anyway, I'm glad to say I filled that nicely because Anne is back. Annabelle is back. Things I do so people can have a loo break. Okay. So I'm delighted to say we've reached the target, but if you would like to donate, please, that would make it even easier for us, and I will keep you updated. I do have to say, to be fair to the Hinckley and Bosworth Borough Council, they have been very good, and they have paid to have the grave refurbished, which they have done. I've seen a photograph. and Sellers of Upper Bond Street, one of our wonderful sponsors, have made a cracking job because the grave was in such a poor state. Today it stands proud. It looks great, and it's just awaiting our plaque to go on there. Let's say in the immediate future. Fantastic. So there we go. Good. I think that's about done all that. By the way, don't forget we've got other things going on in the group. The disco, the 60s, 70s disco. Now, this, in effect, is an old school disco. So if you're saying, why aren't we doing old school disco? Well, this is it, really. We just put a different spin on it. It's going to be a great night, and it's not going to be loud either. We're going to be able to have plenty of good fun, plenty of good stomping. It's going to be a good night. Come along. Great fun. And tickets are now on sale. And as I say, please come along. And I must just remind you that also on the dates for your diary, if you're planning, if you would still like to come to our evening with Joseph Barsby and team, once again, it's another great little evening. We've still got a few tickets left for this as well. We've got rid of a lot of them. There is still a few left for Wednesday, the 20th of March. If you've not been on this tour, trust me, and it's so interesting. It's in no way scary, morbid, or anything like that. And Joseph will answer any questions, and his staff will answer any questions you may have, right? And it really is fantastic. And he'll dispel a lot of the myths and rumours that go around. That's in that profession. He will tell you exactly how it is, and we really do appreciate his support and Sellers' support to Hinckley District, past and present. Just looking in the chat room before we go for our nosy this evening, because Mr. Nosy has joined us, by the way. Hi, Steve. Jan says she should be included in the heritage boards. Well, at least now, Jan, because there will be a plaque erected in Argentsmead as petitioned by yours truly to the council, who, to be fair, warmly welcome the idea and have made provisions that there will be a plaque in Argentsmead. It should be appearing in the very, very near future, because that's what I've been banging on about all this time. So you're going to be hearing a lot about Marjorie Payne, and I think rightfully so, because it is just absolutely fantastic. Now then. Right, where are we to? Oh, yes, nosy time. I nearly forgot where we were, my word. Yeah, we're going to go straight into the nosy now. We're going to have a vintage nosy from Steve, because I know he's been out and about, he's been doing other works, but so it's a vintage nosy this week. Settle back and enjoy a nosy with Steve Picker.
Hello, and once again, welcome to Let's Explore. My name is Steve, and today we're in deepest Charnwood Forest in beautiful Leicestershire, between the towns of Shepshed and Colville, and we're actually in the grounds of Mount St Bernard Abbey, a monastery that was built in 1844. But up until Friday afternoon, when I was looking at the old maps, I didn't know that there was an original monastery before this one was built in 1835. So let's go and have a nosy. Alrighty then, so courtesy of Google Earth, we can actually look from above at the exploration area today. And of course, as per usual, there's the famous little yellow dot that always marks the spot. And we're pretty much between Colville and Shepshed today for this one. And here we are zoomed in on the area in question today that looks no more than a little wood this day and age. And I've drove by this woodland on many occasions on Abbey Road, not knowing what was actually the other side of the dry stone wall. And what you're looking at here, courtesy of the National Library of Scotland, is an Ordnance Survey map dated 1885. And this is the actual map where I found out about the former reformatory and monastery on Friday afternoon. And as you can see there, on the left-hand side of Abbey Road, it was actually a good-sized complex as well. So then, of course, today we're actually looking for the former monastery. Now, the former monastery was built in 1835, I think. Of course, the one that you see today, that's about 400 yards away, that opened in 1844. But the original structure in 1856 was converted into a reformatory. Now, in a nutshell, what a reformatory is basically a young offenders home. Now, this one was for young offenders aged between 10 and 16. And as far as I know, they were all Catholic boys. And also, as far as I'm aware, none of them actually came from round this area. They actually came from up in the Lancashire area, Manchester and Liverpool. But where this monastery is concerned that we're going to search for today, I have been told there's hardly any trace of it left whatsoever. But you know what I'm like. For me, as long as I find one brick or stone, I'm usually satisfied. So we'll go and have a look anyway. I've got a feeling there'll be something to look at, but where the structure is concerned of how it used to look, you know, it's been demolished, but we'll go and have a nosy anyway. Right, so we've come across this first find here. Now, when you look at this former dry stone wall type structure, that's what it looks like when you first see it. It looks like some sort of pinfold where maybe you'd keep livestock. But after looking at the old Ordnance Survey maps, what this area was a bathing pool, or in modern terms, a bit of a swimming pool where the boys would come and have a wash or maybe play around in here. I really don't know. But I've actually got a picture that I'll show you in a minute. But if you was to look at this from the front, which we will in a minute, just over there would be the main structure of the original monastery. Now, I've not been in there yet. Of course, now it's just a woodland, isn't it? It's a small spinney, but whether there's going to be a lot in there to go and find, I don't know. But this in itself is quite fascinating to me. But let's have a little look at it. So I've had a good little nosy around this former bathing pool up at the monastery, and you know, this corner of it here that's made out of the famous Charnwood Forest dry stone walling is the best piece that's left of it, to be honest with you. But it is a shame that they filled it in, but never mind. Lets us would-be explorers use his imagination a bit, doesn't it, you know? Right, so what you're looking at here, it's very hard to see what you're looking at because there's a lot of trees there, but just beyond that wire fence, if you can just make that out, is that former bathing pool. And just beyond there would have been the main building of the former Mount St Bernard's Monastery. And as you'll see round about now, it's going to fade into it. Watch this. And there you have it, the original Mount St Bernard's Abbey that was built in 1835. And as you can see from this photograph, which was very kindly sent to me by Tom Clayton, so thank you very much for that, Tom, if you're watching, really appreciate it. As you can see from this photo, it was rather an impressive and quite imposing building, it has to be said. And as you can see there at the front of the building is that wonderful bathing area that we've just been having a nosy at. Right then, so I've just been over there looking at the former bathing pool up at this original monastery, and I'm actually standing now pretty much at the front door of it, and there's nobody in because, of course, as you'd expect, there's not really any trace of the main original building that was opened in 1835 here, which is unfortunate. Of course, now it's been taken over by nature. The trees have claimed it and the squirrels, but that is unfortunate. And I've got a feeling today I'm going to be clutching at straws in this video, but we will find something. We've got to. You know what I'm like a Springer Spaniel on the trail of pheasants. There'll be something to find. Right then, so I knew that if I persisted for long enough and I kept being a little bit nosy and all that, that I'd find something. You know what I'm like. And just up this public right of way here, you've got Abbey Road. Now that's the road that goes from Colville to Shepshed, or Shepshed to Colville, depending on which way you're driving. And just up here a little bit, just up off the road, you've got the remains of some sort of building. Now I've just had a look on the old Ordnance Survey map, and that appears to be some sort of former outbuilding that's like a reversed L shape, if you know what I'm saying. But let's go and have a little look at it. And of course, as you can see, it's that famous Charnwood Forest dry stone material again, expertly put together, I imagine in 1835. So let's go and have a little look. Right then, so I was half expecting to go around the other side of that wall I've just been showing you, which is this backwards L-shaped outhouse or whatever it was, whatever function it served. And I thought there'd be 4 walls here, but as you can see, a wall here then it goes at a right angle over there. So, but at least we've found something, and it's more than I was expecting to actually find. But let's have a little nosy anyway. Right, so of course I don't know if this was some sort of old outbuilding or this was actually a place, one of the buildings where the boys used to sleep. I'm not really sure. But what's very interesting down here is this. We've got some sort of double fireplace or something here, and on top of it we've got what look like, well, really thin stones here, or maybe slates on the top of it. Not really sure what this building was at all, but just there you've got a bit of a window there, and we know that this building, whatever it was on one level, on a ground level, because here you've got the gable end, and as you can see there, the roof would have gone on top of this part. So very interesting as to what this was. And what you're looking at here on the old Ordnance Survey map of 1885, within that red ring there, I've circled the building that we've just been looking at. Right, so I've just found something very interesting in this old building, whatever the building used to be. I've just found a really old watering can. Now, I'd suggest that this is from when this was a working reformatory. I'd imagine so. I mean, just look how old that is. And it's got a really, really old handle as well. Now, from what I've gathered walking around this site, it's been used as a bit of a dumping ground as well in the last few decades. Little squirrel over there keeping his eye on me. But yeah, very old, and of course it's not got a bottom anymore. There's a hole in my bucket. Right, so I'm now behind whatever that building used to be that we've just been looking at, and straight away we've got evidence here of a building that's been demolished. Now I think this was actually one of the dormitories, or the houses as they used to call them, where these boys actually stayed, where they actually slept. And as you can see, very overgrown now in terms of moss, but this is definitely part of the old structure. Of course this area has been used as a dumping ground in the last few decades, but I often feel that I was born in the wrong decade because I've missed out on looking at this stuff. I mean, this actual complex up here was actually still standing until a few decades ago, I think. I've actually seen some pictures of it that you'll see in this video actually. But I often feel like I was born in the wrong decade because, you know, I could have been looking at this stuff, couldn't I, before, you know, in terms of where there's land now, where stuff's been demolished, you know, we build on it, don't we? Of course, this hasn't been built on, it's just been completely knocked down, but it is a shame. Right, and once again, courtesy of Tom Clayton, who sent me this brilliant photograph of what looks to be one of the former dormitories, or houses as they were known as, where the boys used to stay. In around about a minute's time, you'll see another one of these photographs of one of these buildings in its dilapidated state, not too long before they pulled it down. But you know, it's incredible to think that this place was housing young youths, well, you know, boys that were aged between the ages of 10 and 16. And you know, although these were young boys that stayed at the reformatory, they were apparently hardened criminals from the back streets of Liverpool, you know, and I don't think the monks quite knew what they were letting themselves in for, because they often intruded on the monks' peaceful way of life as well. And you know, there were numerous riots and breakouts here over the years, but one that stood out for me was a riot in May 1863, when 8 constables were brought in from Loughborough and stayed on site for 2 weeks to try and keep the peace. But they started rioting again, and during this particular riot, a constable called P.C. Challoner, who was actually from Shepshed, was seriously injured in this saga. And a year later, there was another riot, and in 1868, 60 boys actually escaped from the reformatory, and many of them actually gave themselves up, and 8 were never found again. Right, so in all this undergrowth and rubble over here, just found some sort of old metal chest. I wonder what's in it. Let's have a nosy. Oh, right. I wonder if it'll be my fortune. Yeah, as I thought. Not a lot. Right then, so about 70 metres in that direction we found that first structure, didn't we, that I assumed was some sort of outhouse. But actually thinking about it now, when these young boys actually stayed here, they were actually put to work, and some of them learnt trades, etc. And I've just found another kind of outbuilding. That's what it looks to be on the map. It looks a bit too small to be a dormitory anyway. It's got an interesting brick wall in the centre of it here as well. Not sure what function that served. But it's quite important to note that these young boys were put to work. They were made to do laborious jobs, or those with a bit more of a with a bit more nous to do something a bit more technical, learnt a bit of a trade, I think. So maybe some of these outhouses were actually workshops, but we'll take a closer look at this one anyway. Right, and once again, courtesy of the National Library of Scotland, we're looking at this fantastic Ordnance Survey map dated 1885, and the structure that we're about to look at, this abandoned structure, I've actually circled in red there. Right, so thinking in terms of what this brickwork here used to actually be, I've just been looking at the structure itself, and as we can see here, the actual brick wall at this point has been broken away, but it did actually tie in with the actual outbuilding stonework just here. So this was actually, looking at it, a room within a large building, because as you can see over here, you've got the same again, where the brickwork is tying in with this beautiful old stonework. Right then, we're ever so slightly Indiana Jones in it, and just found this, behind that last building I've just been showing you, I found this, what looks like a miniature bath. Now I'm not actually sure what this is. It looks very, very old, whatever it is. Now, whether it's something to do with the reformatory, I don't know. Maybe it was part of some of the boys' daily work routine, this, I don't know, but there's a bit of a rotting tank behind that. We're going to struggle to see it because it's buried in this hollow that's stabbing me in the head right now. But yeah, very interesting. I'll get a photo of it. It might not be anything to do with this former reformatory at all, but it looked very interesting. There was actually a little badge on the front of it, and I tried to clean it up, but unfortunately the writing on it was very, very worn. So, but yeah, let me know. Right, so on the Whittick or Colville side of this complex at the former reformatory and monastery up here, you've got here, now this used to be a footpath way into this complex. Now it's been filled in, as you can see, with stonework there in the past. But what I think is great here, you've still got the former gate hinges. And just look at that. So I imagine they would be from 1835, but I love coming across little things like that. And the one on the other side is still there as well, look. Look at that, magic. So of course, the original monastery was founded in 1835 up here at St Bernard's Abbey. And of course, then it was converted into a reformatory or a young offenders institution in 1856. Now, at some point, while there were young men staying here, I keep saying young men, in reality these were young boys, weren't they, aged between 10 and 16. But apparently there was an outbreak of typhoid, and a few of these young boys actually lost their lives to it. Now, according to form, somewhere in this area there is a wooden cross that marks a burial site where these young boys were laid to rest. But I think it's quite important, you know, when we think about these young lads, I mean, I don't know what sort of crimes they committed. I'm hoping nothing too sinister, because they weren't locked up behind bars. You know, they were brought here to, you know, do laborious work and, you know, maybe to learn trades. You know, maybe they were pickpockets, I'm not really sure. But, you know, some of them didn't have a great way out, shall we say. And, you know, typhoid is I think some sort of it's a form of a salmonella infection, isn't it? And I think it affects most of your organs. So, you know, they wouldn't have had a great way out, shall we say. But I'll see if there is actually a burial area here. I mean, if I can't find anything, I assume that, you know, when this place was finished with, that they would have exhumed the bodies and put them somewhere else, maybe at the new Mount St Bernard Abbey. I really don't know. But I'll have a look around and see if I can find anything anyway. Right, so I'm actually quite surprised. I've actually found the burial site for these young men, well, these young boys aged between 10 and 16 that died of typhoid. And as you can see down there, there's a wooden cross there. At the top end of the burial site, there's another one just there. And I'm actually really surprised, if I'm honest, that there's not some sort of plaque to tell you who's actually buried here. Now, I know these young lads, I mean, I don't know what crimes that they committed, and I'm not sure, but hopefully it wasn't anything too bad, because they ended up at this reformatory. They weren't actually behind proper bars, I don't think, anyway, up here. And you know, I know a lot of bad things happened up here. There was a lot of riots that I probably spoke about in the parts that I've narrated in this video. There was quite a lot of violence up here at one point, but even so, you know, these young men, that's all they were. They were young boys aged between 10 and 16, and they'd probably come from really poor backgrounds, I imagine, to be up to the sort of shenanigans that they were up to at the time. And I'm just surprised there's not some sort of stone here or some sort of plaque to say who's actually buried down here. But when I heard about these wooden crosses, I didn't think they'd be here, to be honest. I thought that when the original structure was knocked down, or when it was, you know, when it became redundant in the late 1800s, I thought they'd probably exhume what bodies were here and move them somewhere else. So yeah, they are still here, but I'm just surprised, like I say, there's not some sort of memorial to them, you know. Okay, so unfortunately we've reached the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it today and you learned a little bit of something. Maybe you didn't know anything about this place or its existence, because I certainly didn't until Friday afternoon when I was looking at the really old Ordnance Survey maps from 1885. Anyway, if you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe and share, and I will see you at the next one. Right, I'm going to go and get myself in my nice warm car because I'm freezing. Anyway, see you later. Bye.
Thank you, Steve. There we go. I like that nosy, actually. And once again, a vintage nosy from our Steve. There we go. Sunday night with Hinckley District Past and Present. We're coming to the end of the programme. It was cheering. I heard a distant cheer then. Coming to the end of it, we just got to give you the answers to 6 of the best. Now, before we even start, please don't give me the answer to question 4 when I'm only on question 1. Right, I know you're keen to get your answers in, but please, let's go through it step at a time and put your answers in accordingly. All right, then. So somebody, I think 2 or 3 people will probably get 6 of the best tonight. Okay, so with no further ado, let's go for it. Here we go. Question number 1. Watch out for the smugly. Oh, hang on. I'll better put on the one with the chat so you can see it coming in. Yeah, now then, watch out for the smugly answer, because I'm sure it'll be here any second now. Anyway, let's see. Right, oh, look, we're getting some. Yes, there's the smugly answer. If it's actually after Alfred Ernest Hawley, of course, who indeed was the founder of Sketchley. Okay, yes, people getting it right, so well done there. So well done, Dennis, Mr. Smugly, David Starnborough, David S., Annabelle, Mr. A. Road. Will you go and have a word with yourself? And Jane Brown and stuff like that. Well done, well done. So that was it, Mr. Alfred Ernest Hawley, the founder of Sketchley. Okay, so if you got that right, give yourselves a point and a big smile, a big smugly smile. Yeah, that's something else we're going to have to do. Smugly smiles. Right, Russett's ahead of the game, yes. Already give me the answer to the next question. Yes, here we all go. Yes, the answer to the next question. What was New York's original name? Well, that is really easy. It's New Amsterdam. So well done, Mr. Smugly, of course. Jane, Dennis Perkins, and Uncle Tom Cobley. Oh, really? Yes, you've all got that one right. Thought you would do. So that's the correct answer for question number 2. Okay, number 3 we go. Find the words. We were looking for a classic comedy show, actually. Here. Look, Smugly straight in. I work at Myra, you see. Yeah, he's got it correct. Let's see. Dave B, well done. Dave B said that's my final and that's my score tonight. Dennis Perkins, I don't know. Well, it's the fall and rise of Reginald Perrin. Congratulations to those who have got it right, Jane Brown included. Kevin Busy just put Reginald Perrin, but yeah, we can take that. There we go, Jeff and David Allen. And so, yeah, you've got it all right, yeah. But Daniel says, nope, not for me. Ah, there you go. That was it. The Fall and Rise of Reginald Perrin. That's what we were looking for this evening. Okay, then, what was the year I was looking for in this one? Right, let's see. Mr. Smugly comes in with 1983, as does David Allen, so does Dennis Perkins, David Starnborough. I hope a lot of you haven't been Googling tonight, by the way. Kevin Beasley's got it right. Yeah, you've all getting that one right. The year we was looking for was 1983. Okay, 1983, well done. Some of you I know have got 4 out of 4 already. Where am I? Too easy, but let's see if anybody comes up with the correct answer. I'll give it a moment for them to arrive. You see, yes. Let's see. Kevin Beasley. No, sorry, Kevin, it's not the horse fair. But Jane and John have got it right. It's, of course, Baptist Walk. Daniel Coburn, correct. Baptist Walk. David S., no idea. No idea, David S. Maybe you ought to get a job at Myra. Oh, dear. Yeah, we're in Baptist Walk. Yeah, there we go. And this is the side of the Pickering factory that later on became Downes's, F.E. Downes's Builders. And this was the carpentry shop many, many years ago. So well done if you got Baptist Walk. Okay, the Aniogram. Bend down, wind, Melvin, roll in. Yeah, we're looking for a village and local pub. I know you, David. Bless you to offer a job. Mr. Smugly gets it right. Jane Brown gets it right as well, as you will be seeing coming up on your screen in just a moment, because this window here is a little bit short and you can't see the answer coming in. There we go. Make it a bit bigger for you. Yep, the windmill in Newbold Verdon. You see when I said go sailing, but not in the nautical sense? Sails, windmill. Oh, well. Well, there you go. Windmill, yeah, you're getting it right. Yes. Lovely. And Anne says, I never heard of it. Well, there's still places you haven't explored yet then, Anne. Yeah, a lot of you getting that one right. Well done. So, already, ladies and gentlemen, bring us in with your scores now, please, as I can see. David, Kevin Beasley says, for tonight, it's a record tonight. By the way, Kevin, I've sent you a message with the payment details for the Westminster trip in the messenger chat. I've just done that. I can multitask, you know. Right then, for tonight, says Anne Hunt, well done. And Jane Brown, 6 is celebrating. Well done, little Jane, bless her. Russell said, 1 for me. Yes, but 1 is still good. 1 is still good. Jan says, 4 for me. Alan Crop, 2 for us tonight. Annabelle, 7. She would. Dennis Perkins has got 4. Well done, Dangerous Dan. 5 again, David S. That's very good, Dave. Very good. And Queen Bee has got 4 for her tonight. Carol's got 3. Jeff's got 4. Mr. Smugly. Hang on. Here comes the smug way. 6. Yes, we thought it would. A few of you, well done. If you got 6 tonight, well done, Jane. Well done, John. Then well done. It was pretty easy tonight, admittedly. And when we try and dodge the smugness coming about, yeah, you know, then great. I think actually, Daniel, you did well as well. Best ever 5 tonight. Well done. Incredible. So it's been a nice little night, and I'm glad you spent it with HDPP Live. We'll be back, all being well, fingers crossed, next Sunday night, 7:30, right here on YouTube. And some of you, I know quite a lot of people actually watch on Catch Up. So thank you for coming and watching on Catch Up. Please remember to like the video, please, because it really does help us. And we look forward to your company next week when we'll be having another 6 of the best and more little features, which I know you really enjoy. So, and please, and if you do still want to make a small donation to the Marjorie Payne Fund, that would be gratefully received. Even though we have hit the target, every little helps us, that supermarket would tell you. Great to have you here tonight. Thank you very much indeed. And I'll see you next week. Until then, take care. Ta-da. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. Oh, I don't half love you lot. You really make me laugh. The stuff that appears in the chat room is fantastic. This is the part of the programme which we never talk about in the main one. You know, by hanging on a few minutes, we like to send you to bed with a bit of a laugh, bit of a chortle. And even if it does mean laughing at your husband or your partner in baggy pyjamas, it still makes you laugh, doesn't it? Yeah. One or two little dad jokes. Just to send you on your way, if you've already, just making sure everybody's ready over in that part of the room as well. Yes, they appear to be. So here we go, because the old ones are still the best. Someone threw a bottle of omega-3 capsules at me. Luckily, my injuries were only superficial oil. Superficial. Oh, love it, love it. A bloke on a tractor has just driven past me shouting, "The end of the world is nigh." I think it was Farmageddon. Oh dear, don't you just love it? My auntie brought me a real cheap dictionary for my birthday. I couldn't find the words to thank her enough. Wow, wicked laugh that time. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, finally, there was another one which I'd put here, and yes. Finally, breaking news. This is true. Little Red Riding Hood has been found in critical condition. Paramedics have stabilised her condition, but she's not out of the woods yet. Take care. See you next week. Ta-da.